then I take that as a compliment. I'll accept that label and I'll wear it as a badge of honor.
3 days after crooked Michael Dowd left the witness stand, clean James Dowd arrived. The former New York police sergeant and his former Lieutenant James Wood went through the most painful experience of their lives last December, turning in 3 fellow members of their anti-narcotics task force for selling heroin.
You knew Jeff Beck and Joe Termini personally, didn't you?
Yes.
They were your friends, is that correct?
Yes.
Although they were friends of ours, they had taken that one step over the line and compromised not only themselves, but the rest of the department.
It was devastating. Here, the 3 guys that you work shoulder to shoulder with were now soliciting the help of a paid informant to sell heroin was beyond my belief.
Jim Dowd and Jim Wood felt they had no choice. They had to report their dirty colleagues, even if that meant working with the IAD.
You have to understand that the police officers in the street, the hard-working cops, have no respect for the people in IAD because quite a few of the people in IAD are there because they could not make it on the street.
The best detectives and the best investigators in the police department were not attracted to internal affairs. Internal affairs always had to hijack investigators.
It seemed to me some of the investigators were pretty incompetent at the time.
That's how Jim Dowd and Jim Wood felt when they took their informant to the Internal Affairs Division to blow the whistle on the 3 heroin sellers in their anti-drug unit.
They were just totally unaware of how to go about a case like this. Matter of fact, the inspector said to me, I wouldn't know where to start doing a case like this.
These 2 honest cops found IAD failed an Internal Affairs investigation's most important test, confidentiality.
Confidentiality is very important, and people are afraid to go to IAD because there are a lot of leaks in IAD.
A leak at the IAD blew Jim Wood's cover to a reporter for the New York Daily News.
And he had received a 2-page anonymous letter. So he gave me the option of saying to me, I'm going to write an article about it one way or the other. If you come down, I'll make it much more factual.
Informants who were giving us information were very concerned that that information not be shared with IAD because they believed that within moments after IAD would be aware of it, it would get back to the precinct.
Judge Milton Mullen is chairman of the commission currently investigating the New York Police Department. He says a failure at the top by commanders of the NYPD made internal affairs a poor career choice and made rooting out corruption a poor career decision.
You have the command structure concerned that if they root out a corrupt situation in their precinct or in their borough, whatever their division, that they may suffer career consequences by doing so.
For Jim Wood and Jim Dowd, the consequences included being placed under investigation themselves for allegedly being part of the drug conspiracy they had revealed to the IAD.
They turned on me. They made me feel that I was a criminal myself.
What message do you think the police department is sending to honest police officers such as yourself who are aware of corruption?
They're not exactly encouraging honest cops to come forward and give up the corrupt cops.
What has been encouraging and surprising, they say, has been the response they've gotten following their testimony.
And the cops in the street, bar none, have come up to me in the street and shook my hand and thanked me.
People in the police department have always been afraid basically to come out with the corruption because they were afraid to be left out in the cold. They didn't want to be stigmatized like that. When they saw us testify, they said to themselves, hey, that's what we've wanted to say for the longest time, but we never had the vehicle to do it.
Great, says Judge Mullen of those cop-to-cop congratulations, except for one thing.
That they do it privately, that they still are hesitant and reluctant to express their appreciation in front of fellow police officers. I would love to see the day when all of the police officers will feel free to congratulate a police officer who has turned in a corrupt cop and do so in front of their colleagues.
New York's top police official, Commissioner Raymond Kelly, has made a public gesture to Sergeant Joe Trimboli, talking about his retirement, promoting him, praising him, and saying his dogged investigation of Michael Dowd will be a model to the newly reformed NYPD. Some street cops say privately they'll wait to see if more deeds follow these promising words and gestures. I'm Dave Marish for Nightline in New York.